Uncle Yorkie, I was thinking recently about how I've never had much luck with women, so I've come up with a great plan. I'm going to bodybuild until I get the physique that the girls really want.
Well, by all means get some muscle if that makes you feel happier about yourself, but let's think about how this would change your situation with women. You start lifting with great enthusiasm and optimism, and after several years of immense hard work, you've now got the body you've been hoping for. Unfortunately, all the steroids you had to take did get you into quite a lot of trouble for some time, but nevertheless, the results are there, and now you're ready to begin your quest to get some female attention. You quickly find that even the tiniest of women now have absurd height standards, which are going to keep them single forever, but eventually you catch the eye of a chick with lip filler, cheek filler, hair extensions, fake orange tan, and because you're a young idiot, you think this is attractive. The next thing you know, she's got you standing on top of a box, being a background decoration as she poses next to a stranger's sports car on Instagram, doing that stupid thing with her fingers that women do. And then you've got to spend time with all her friends. Ordinarily, a guy can ignore the nonsensical, self-absorbed chit-chat that women concern themselves with by drinking lots of beer. Women typically will only talk about themselves and people that they know, so you can alleviate the boredom by getting completely and totally wasted to the point of oblivion. But you can't do this and maintain your ripped physique. You'd have to stick to a very small amount of spirits and sip it slowly through the evening, not able to remove yourself from the mediocrity. And to add to it all, she's now going to give you some sob story about an abusive ex-boyfriend who used to intimidate her. She shows you where he lives, and being a white knight with muscles, you are determined to come to her rescue and dish out the punishment that you think he deserves, without even knowing if your girl was telling the truth or not. As you might expect, it doesn't end too well, and she doesn't even appreciate your efforts anyway. And don't forget the boring diet that you would have to maintain. You wouldn't be able to eat French fries anymore.
Okay, so perhaps the bodybuilding plan isn't such a good idea. But what if I was to become really accomplished at something and get the respect of girls this way?
Well, you have to remember that the accomplishment will have to have a benefit to the woman. Let's say you decide to master playing the bagpipes. After months of frustration, you do indeed reach a point of being able to expertly play this difficult instrument. While it's true that all your practice hasn't been desirable for your neighbours, you still have something you can be very proud of, and you are indeed now accomplished. But your wife or girlfriend will not see it like this. Bagpipes are not part of the orchestra, so you won't be able to earn any money this way. And you're not exactly going to be embarking on a solo career which is going to fill out concert halls and stadiums. There is no benefit to the female, and she will be sure to let you know this. But let's look at the lives of some men who were truly accomplished. Consider the writer Leo Tolstoy. Even within his own lifetime, he became known as one of the greatest Russian novelists of all time, and he also made a lot of money for himself and his family. But this considerable wealth led to consistent arguments with his wife about how this money should be spent. Leo wanted to give it away to the country's peasants, but his wife hated that idea and wanted more luxuries for herself. This constant friction in his household caused a great deal of unhappiness for Tolstoy. One evening, after a particularly nasty rant from her, he walked out. By now he was 82 years old, and although he knew as a Russian that you should never leave your house in winter unless you really have to, he had to get away from his wife. Tolstoy made his way by foot to a railway station and boarded a train, but by now the hypothermia had put him in serious danger. He was taken to the station master's house where, after a few days, he died, but at least he could taste some MGTOW freedom before the end. And let's look at a more recent example. Consider the actor David Niven. In 1948 he married a Swedish woman called Hjördis, and for decades they enjoyed the finest Hollywood parties, award ceremonies and events. By 1982 Niven was seriously ill with motor neuron disease and could do almost nothing for himself, but Hjördis was only interested in sitting around drinking away his money. The couple had a mutual friend, the actor Robert Wagner. He knew the terrible condition that Niven was in and said to Hjördis, "You have to be here for David now. He needs you." Her reply was simply, "I never loved him." 34 years of marriage and she never loved him. She just loved the rich and famous lifestyle that he could provide for her.
Well, whichever way I go about achieving it, my ultimate goal is to get married. I mean, it must be nice having a wife. A woman who loves you and deeply cares about you, and who will be there by your side through the difficult times, and who will pick you up when you are down.
Mate, trust me when I tell you that attaining a wife is the most ill-advised decision a man could ever make. That delightful person she is at the beginning becomes a completely different animal once she has the wedding ring. You will hardly recognise what she has turned into afterwards. You can even see this recently on TV. Alec Baldwin's wife speaks to him like shit even in front of the television cameras, and the President of France gets slapped in the face by his wife with no consequences. Us men will never find a woman who will love us for the person that we are.
But what if I was to get ripped and accomplished?